Hello, good yo-yo people. I'm Nate, and this is Let's Talk Yo-Yo. Today, I am reviewing the Juke by Amplified Return Tops. This is my review of the Juke. So this is the in the hand section. What does it actually feel like in the hand before I play it? Because that's really important. So I'll go over the aesthetics, the shape, the blast, the ano, all those sort of things. If you're unfamiliar with my reviews, I always put in the description box the specs of the yo-yo. So I'm not going to go over those right now, but you can check those out. But this is a full-size yo-yo. It is a step design yo-yo where you have a pretty aggressive V, but also sort of an H-shape sort of design with it. So it's kind of a best of both worlds. Fairly comfortable in the hand, so you're going to get that comfort that you might have in organic type yo-yos a little bit more, but the performance ability that you get a lot of times in V-shape yo-yos, with it being a little less string drag and being able to have just a little bit more off plane sort of type plane, like horizontal type plane. So anyways, this yo-yo did go through quite a few renditions of prototyping and that sort of thing. The design of this yo-yo was done by Darren Tan, one of Amplified's sponsored players. Did a really good job on it. I'm not sure if he's designed other yo-yos before. If he has, I don't know if they've been produced, but he has an eye for it and did a really good job. It's a really clean design. Right away, even just from looking at pictures, it's just a really beautiful design, really clean lines, and nothing super gimmicky. It just looks like, even from the pictures, that it's going to be just a really solid player. It comes in this champagne gold color that they're calling it, this champagne color. Really nice blasted finish on this, really nice. Going to be great for grinds. The shape itself is also going to be really conducive for things like finger grinds and that sort of thing. There's a lot of weight on the rims, you can even tell, but it's not all the way out. You have a step and then a little bit. So it's not, all the weight's not just in one space on this yo-yo. You do have a flat hub, so you would think, oh, there's a lot less center weight, but there's actually a decent amount of center weight as well. And so overall the weight distribution's fairly even, but there's a nice chunk of it on the rims. One of the cool things I like just aesthetically is right at the rims here is sort of this, there's 1, 2, 3, like 4 little like micro steps. I wouldn't even really call them steps, but they're sort of just you know, machine marks in there, and you can actually feel them. They feel kind of like ripples. You know, it's almost like sound waves in a way, kind of going out. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know if that was intentional, to be that, but really smart and just kind of a cool look that makes it really kind of nice and comfortable in the hand too, and kind of gives it a little bit of that textured feel to it. So it would have been kind of neat to see what that would have looked like all the way down into the gap. The gap on this, you have a step here, so you are going to have the string pulled away from the gap a little bit here. So it's going to be really conducive for horizontal type play, and if you're into that kind of thing. So definitely a competition driven yo-yo. Anyway, that's going to do it for the in the hand section. Let's go ahead and play it and see how it plays. This is the in the hand section where we actually play it. What's a yo-yo review without playing it, right? So one of the things that they mentioned in the description, if you've checked out their website, or the description of this yo-yo, as every good yo-yo has, well, most every good yo-yo has a good description. But Amplified, in their description of the Juke, basically said it had 3 main things going for it. Was stability, speed, and spin times, maybe? The weight spec on this is not light by any means. It's pretty standard. I would even say, you know, anything above 65 is getting even into the heavier territory. However, the distribution of the weight on this yo-yo really gives it a nice lighter feel than most, I believe, 66 yo-yos. That's around, that's what the weight of this is around. You can check on the specs in the description, but really it doesn't play that heavy. No, that's not heavy by any means, but it doesn't feel that heavy at all. It has a nice nimble feel to it, nice and light, where it's not so light though, obviously you're not going to lose control of it. You know exactly where it's going, which gives it a really good competition sort of aspect to it. Sometimes whenever you have a lighter yo-yo or a lighter feeling yo-yo, when the weight distribution isn't quite adjusted where it should be, you have little less spin times, you know, so you know, it's nice and light and you're flowing through combos really nice, but then you're not getting the spin time you need to get a decent bind, and so you're reaching for binds, you know, at longer combos and things like that, which isn't good. So it's a fine balance in designing to really get that quite right, and I think they did a good job of not making it so that it was all rim weighted, but overall just gives it a really nice solid feel. For players that play horizontal, it's not going to be that bad at all, where you're going to be able to really keep the plane pretty easily. You know me, I'm not a big horizontal guy. I don't really spend a lot of time on it, but even on a simple horizontal, you know, banana turnover, I can really tell where, you know, it's going to keep that plane or not based on the friction of the string onto the gap, which is really decent on this, but also the weight distribution that you get from a lot of V-shaped yo-yos and H-shaped yo-yos like that. So overall, it's really competitive and performance driven, and so it's really going to be nice for people that compete, especially their team. But it also has just a nice play feel to it. That's just not, I wouldn't say it's a relaxed yo-yo. It's certainly more performance driven, which I think is fine. But it also is nice for, you know, just trying to hit that combo. It's going to be a really nice, just kind of everyday, that kind of yo-yo where it's going to hit a little bit of everything that you want. It's going to give you that stability. It's going to give you those spin times, and it's really going to give you a decent maneuverability. All right, let's go ahead and attempt to do a trick, and then I'll have some last minute remarks. Kind of a weird trick, and it's hard to really do in a little bit any wind at all, as you all know. Whenever you're trying to throw in any kind of wind and doing any kind of slacks like that, good luck. Anyways, so yeah, I really do like this yo-yo a lot. I think it's one of my favorite things that they've actually put out. I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people, and it's, like I said, it's in the hand section, very clean design. Oh, I also forgot to talk about the blast here, just kind of show you just a little bit of some grind. Yeah, it's really stable for things like that as well. And you can really tell, not just on tricks like horizontal that are really obvious, but even whenever you're doing things like finger grinds, you can really tell a yo-yo's stability. And so it's really solid for that as well. So you can actually pull off some decent finger spins with that. It's nothing that's going to be super gimmicky, which I appreciate actually. So it's not like a dimple or centering or per se, but it's easy enough to hit that you can kind of move around a little bit on it. Yeah, really decent for finger spins. You know, like you saw that probably they're wobbling a little bit. It's going to kind of bounce a little bit back and forth, but that little lip there is high enough that it's not really seeming to bounce out too much, as long as you hit it right. And it's a big enough surface there that it's really easy to hit for a finger spin. Overall, I'm really impressed by the Juke. I think Amplified Return Tops really did a good job with the design. It's very clean. It's very cost friendly as well. So it's going to be in that budget metal spectrum, but it's also going to be a really nice performance-based yo-yo that's going to tack off a lot of boxes that you would want for something, for competitions or for hitting that harder trick that you've been struggling with. And that's going to do it for my review of the Juke by Amplified Return Tops. And as always, good day and good yo-yo.